Hello, young men. Today I want to talk about the equality of relationship. In our society and many preceding it, we've had a patriarchal system in which men are dominant in the public sphere, in the workplace. They tend to be in leadership roles and they make decisions and all of that. And women tend to like that, culturally speaking. Women like it when men are very assertive and even dominant, who know how to make decisions, make the decisions, say what they want, know what they want. That's attractive. But when it comes to the actual give and take of a relationship, of love itself, you cannot take a dominant role. You have to be equal with your partner. There's almost no point in doing it otherwise. If you start becoming controlling and pushy and disrespecting the other person's feelings and saying, well, you shouldn't be feeling that, well, then you probably shouldn't even be in that relationship anymore. Taking that masculine dominant role in the dance of love is a great way to kill love. It's the way that you begin to have abusive relationships, where one person is either physically, emotionally, or verbally abusive. And then it's not healthy for either person because the person who's being abused, it's unhealthy. It's training them to not trust their own feelings or thoughts. And the person who does is being dominant, well, they're training themselves to basically be abusive, to be controlling, and they're not getting the insights. They're not seeing what the other person has to offer, which is so valuable, which is the whole key to love and relationships in the first place, is having that mirror, having somebody to reflect back at you what you're doing and what you're thinking. I had a relationship once in which I was madly in love and we had a great relationship happening. It was just very exciting. And then at some point I felt like I had the intellectual edge in the relationship, that I was somehow smarter than her. And I started to be this way. I started to assert myself in a way that was not respecting her feelings or her thoughts. And we would have conversations and I would listen, but then I would go, well, I don't think you're right about that. I think that you're missing the point, or you haven't thought about this or whatever. And it became very clear very quickly that there was an imbalance, that I was pushing her, instead of letting her naturally grow. And really that exact thing happened. I was missing a lot of what she had to offer in the relationship. I was disrespecting what she was bringing, and it created problems. It put a lot of strain, and eventually it didn't feel right anymore. And sometimes that's fine. Sometimes it doesn't feel right. Sometimes you realize you are in different places. Sometimes one person's much older than the other, and they've lived that experience already. They don't really have any interest in reflecting back that earlier, younger experience or whatever. And you just have to recognize that and accept it. Like, well, I guess we're in different places, but you cannot come in there with this arrogant attitude, well, I know best. Similarly, you cannot be dominated in the relationship. There are a lot of women who tend to be much more observant, or have thought about relationships a lot more than men. You can't walk into that relationship without bringing your own feelings and thoughts to the table and just accept her dominant role. I've experienced that too, and you have to stand up for yourself and say, well, actually, I don't like that, or I feel it's this way. I kind of feel this way about it. I mean, your perspective is interesting. I'm thinking about that, but ultimately, you've got to show up in your relationship. Otherwise, why are you doing it? It's all about the beautiful dance, and being authentic and real. Going through the motions is training yourself to not be awake and fully present in your relationships. So just remember that while you may be dominant in certain aspects of life, or when you're going out on a date, making decisions, maybe women like that, But when it comes to expressing your love and having intimate talk and really, really sharing, you have to make it an equal relationship. You have to respect her as much as she respects you.